Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today we're doing something we've never done on this channel. It's a first for us. This is a watch review, but the good news is there is a car connection, especially if you're a fan of high-performance Mustangs. This is a review of the Bulova Shelby Racing Chronograph. Bulova has been a part of American history for 150 years. Bulova watches have been worn by celebrities such as Frank Sinatra, Amelia Earhart, and even Tarzan himself, Johnny Weissmuller. Bulova was a pioneer of advertising. It ran the first radio commercial, and more than a decade later, it ran the very first television commercial. Later on, Bulova watches became the official timepieces of Pan Am Airlines. Bulovas were even worn in outer space, having been used in 46 NASA missions, including Apollo 15. To celebrate its 150th anniversary, Bulova released a line of watches, including the subject of today's video, the Shelby Racing Chronograph. That takes its inspiration from the 1967 Shelby GT500, which was an all-new model for that year that upped the performance of the Ford Mustang with a 428 cubic inch V8 that wasn't available in the 67 Mustang, that had dual four-barrel carburetors that helped it crank out 355 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. As you'll see, Bulova honored that car in several different ways. Blue and white are colors that are often associated with Shelby, and you'll see them on the packaging for the Shelby Racing Chronograph. You have the white base here with the blue stripes, Bulova name, and then a Shelby Cobra logo above that. Then when you open the packaging, you'll see more blue and white and this thoughtful thin layer of padding to protect the precious cargo inside. There's also another thin layer of padding, white, and then you get to the really good stuff here. Now, before we even get into the watch, I want to show you one of the nice bonus that comes with it. So Bulova included a 1/24th scale model of the 67 GT500 with the watch. Now, I think this is a smart thing to do for a couple of reasons. One is that there's a huge overlap between car enthusiasts and watch nuts. The other reason is that every car enthusiast that I know has not just their cars, but they also have some sort of diecast or model collection. You know, Hot Wheels, Maestos, Auto Arts, whatever it happens to be. They also have those. So I think that's a very nice inclusion. Plus, you know, you can wear the Shelby Racing Chronograph wherever you go, and then you can come home and see it on your bookshelf or go to your office and see it on your desk. So very thoughtful. As for the model itself, I was really surprised by the amount of detail in this. I think Bulova could have gotten away with, you know, a slightly less detailed car. I think just the notion probably would have been enough for a lot of people, but this does have a pleasant amount of detail. Everything opens, the hood, the doors, the trunk, and then the underside, it's got some detail painting there. There's actually windows for the doors, and then these nicely wrought door handles. The only catch to those door windows is that it makes it harder to open the doors. I definitely wouldn't use the driver's side mirror or the door handles to do that because I think that would end poorly. But yes, this was a nice surprise. Now, as for the watch itself, the Shelby Racing Chronograph has a stainless steel bullhead case. So that means the crown and the pushers for the chronograph function are at the top of the watch instead of on the side. Now, one of the benefits to that is it makes the watch distinctive. I've never worn a bullhead case before, so it definitely stands out. It's something a little more unusual. It seems like most chronographs, you know, they have the hardware at the side. This does things differently. Now, the only thing they do have on the side is this button at the 5 o'clock position that switches from the main timekeeping function to the chronograph function. And then on the side here, there are these grooves that Bulova says are a nod to the stripes on the GT500. I see them a little differently. To me, these make the case look a little more machined and industrial, which in its own way is a connection to cars. I think that's really cool. And then right here, you see this black tachymeter ring, which allows you to measure speed over a given distance. And I think the color here, I mean, normally I don't like black next to blue. I usually just don't like that color scheme. But I think it really works here because I think if they'd gone with stainless or with a white ring with contrast numbering, it would have made it look a little more delicate, a little more toy-like. So this gives it a nice contrast, and it also makes it look a little more serious. Then you'll see that surrounds a sapphire crystal, and underneath you'll see the blue main dial, the silver subdials, the skeleton hands with lume, the stick hour markers, and the contrast date window, which makes it easier to read. As you can see here, the timekeeping function has a nice, clean, fast movement to it. To switch from that to the chronograph function, you just press this button, resets to the 12 o'clock position, and you use it just, basically the way you would use a chronograph that's oriented on the side here. You press this on the left to start. You see all the spinning and whirring. Press it again to stop. You press the one on the right to reset. These 4 subdials measure your time in 4 different ways. So on the right, you see this subdial at 3 o'clock with the Shelby Cobra logo in it. And this measures thousandths of a second. So when you need to be precise, you can do it with this. And then on the left at 9 o'clock, you have 2 hands that measure tenths and hundredths of a second. At 6 o'clock, you have the minute counter. And then if you happen to be timing something that's particularly long, you have an hour counter at the 12 o'clock position. Now I have to say, normally I don't like automotive themed watches because I think some of them are a little too on the nose, a little too obvious, too overwrought. But what I like about this Shelby Racing Chronograph is it gets the point across, this is a Shelby watch, but it doesn't really beat you over the head with it. There is a certain degree of subtlety to it. All of these functions are powered by Bulova's Precisionist quartz movement, which the company says has a frequency of 262 kilohertz, making it 8 times more accurate than a regular quartz movement. So instead of losing several seconds or gaining several seconds a month, this is accurate to seconds a year. Now, like the GT500 that inspired it, the strap has a white and blue color scheme, but as you may have noticed, the colors are inverted. Once again, I think that was a smart choice because I feel like if there was more blue than white, it might have made this look a little more delicate. Now moving down here, you see the clasp. It's got the Bulova name on it, and it's got a brushed finish. And it's a push button unit, so you just press these 2 buttons, it opens to reveal the fold over mechanism. And to adjust this is very easy. It's like adjusting a tiny belt. You just move this prong from the hole that fits best. Now, I have to say, initially I was wearing this a little loose, but whenever I would flick my wrist to recenter the case on my wrist, I would feel the weight of this watch, and this is pretty heavy, it's 4.5 ounces. I would feel that swinging around. So what I did was I tightened it up a little bit. The only drawback to that, as you can probably see right now, is it made it a little less comfortable to slip on. But once I have it past the widest point of my hand, it fits nicely and it's centered well. Back here I can show you that this strap, if for some reason you wanted to change it out for another one, and I don't know why you would because it looks great as it is, this has the quick release mechanism so you can easily change the strap to something else. And then you have these 4 screws holding the case back on, and in the middle you have the Bulova 150 markings, the Shelby logo, Carroll Shelby signature, and on the outer ring you'll see the water resistance, 50 meters, 166 feet, and that this is number 396 of a worldwide production run of 7,500. I have chronographs in my collection, but I typically don't go for big, chunky, flashy watches. Having worn this Shelby Racing Chronograph for about 3 weeks, I've started to feel that sport watches like this can get away with a little more size, a little more heft, a little more presence. There should be a certain flashiness to them. They're not dress watches. Those I expect to be reserved, lower profile, not as blingy, not as attention-getting. So a sport watch can get away with that, and I think the Shelby Racing Chronograph does that nicely because it does have size and heft and presence, but it doesn't scream for attention. Now, the one downside to its size and height and dimensions is that it's easy to bump into things, even when you're being careful, because it is tall, it's got a thick case, and it's 43 millimeters across. It also happens to be basically the width of my wrist when you measure the height of the watch. So its extremities are right near the outer edges of my wrist. So, you know, unfortunately, it can be a little easy to bump this into things, even when you're being careful. When I wear a watch, I like to coordinate it with what I'm wearing. As you can see, I didn't really do that with my broadcast uniform here. Got to represent the company. But when I'm not wearing my work clothes, I like to coordinate my watch with my outfit. And I think this Shelby Racing Chronograph would be better suited for casual outfits, you know, short sleeve shirts and shorts, or jeans and a sweatshirt with elastic cuffs that can fit over the size of this watch. I definitely would not wear it with a dress shirt. Like if you're wearing a suit, I wouldn't wear it with a dress shirt because, you know, those typically are, you know, closer fitting. This wouldn't fit under them. It just wouldn't look right. But yeah, you know, if you're going to your favorite cigar lounge, if you're going to the racetrack or a car show or a backyard barbecue, especially in a short sleeve shirt, this would look perfect there. And no matter what you're wearing, this would go with it if you're driving your Shelby. I have to say that I ended up liking the Bulova Shelby Racing Chronograph more than I initially thought I would. It took a lot of the things that I hold against other watches and showed me that in this case at least, they can be strengths. Now, if you like the Shelby Racing Chronograph as much as I did, you can get your very own for $1,350 and the peace of mind of a 3-year warranty. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more car content and reviews.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you're in the market for a collector car, going over to our website, classiccars.com. That's our online marketplace with over 38,000 listings live on the site. And you can't forget about our sister website, Auto Hunter. That's going to be our 7-day online auction. Thank you guys, and I'll see y'all in the next video.